Hello guys, my name is Desmond and I welcome you to my lesson for today, where we'll be looking at your mathematics, obviously paper 1. So guys, just make sure that you've got your mics muted. Young K, please do make sure that your mic is muted. So for the last time, can someone just confirm if I'm audible, and again if you are able to clearly see over there? Shreyas, can you confirm if you are able to clearly hear me and if all is clear there?
I can, sir.
Okay, 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to my lesson for today. Grace, please do allow me to say it is very much important that I say it is very, very much important, because what I'm about to say is massively, massive. Hey, massively important, ladies and gentlemen, that I say a day without learning something new, it's a day wasted. By so saying, Shravan, please do make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you learn some new. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. So guys, obviously, since Monday, we've been doing functions. So we did start with a straight line, and then on our next, on our last lesson, we did what is called parabola, and I hope you guys did enjoy that lesson. And in today's lesson, I would like for us to look at what we call hyperbola. And lastly, on our last lesson, hopefully tomorrow, we'll be looking at exponential. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. So remember, guys, the general formula for a straight line. Obviously, we started it at a baby stage, and then we said after a baby stage, we've got a stage called teenager. And then after the teenager stage, we said we've got an adult stage. So quickly, let's have a look at the formation of a straight line equation. We said it first started as y, it is equals to x, and then from there we noticed that this one, it is boring, and then it extended to y being equals to having a gradient which could be either positive or minus x over there. Ladies and gentlemen, it did not end there. After realizing that the gradient actually influences the slope of the graph or a straight line, we therefore notice that a straight line can either move up or down. Therefore, it ended up being y is equals to mx plus c. So this is the adult stage of a straight line formula, or just a straight line as a function. So I'll just quickly explain to you over there, ladies and gentlemen, so that you notice the difference. Remember, this is what we call a Cartesian plane. So we said for all the straight lines in that direction, they all have a positive gradient. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. And we said a C value influence the vertical shift, meaning if you've got y, it's equals to, for example, 2x, let's say plus 8. can you see the gradient is positive, which means your straight line, it is in that direction. And because your C value, it is a positive 8, it means this straight line, it moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which means it is going to be like that. If it was y, it's equals to negative 2x, let's say plus 8, it was still going to be passing at that point because it shifted upwards by 8 units, but in that direction. Why in that direction? Because the gradient, it is negative, which means for all the straight lines in that direction, that means the gradient is negative. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So that was quickly for me. Hey, today I've got what do you call this thing, guys? The red thing. What is it? Stock sweets. I hope you guys still call this thing a stock sweets. This one is very nice because guys, it's nice. Okay, let's see. Where are we now? Let's try to quickly talk about a parabola. K-more, the K-mores. This is just a revision. Remember, we've got y being equals to x squared. This is the formation of a parabola at a baby stage. So remember, guys, it keeps on evolving. Let's have a look at what we call a teenage stage. So this is how it looks like. So now it becomes a good question to say, why are we having that A? So remember, that A can either be positive A or negative A, meaning it could be, let's say, positive 2x squared or otherwise negative 3x squared. And we said this positive value, it tells us the shape of the parabola. So a parabola can either be like that or otherwise it can either be like that. And we said for this one, it looks like a smiling shape, and it only makes sense if we do something similar to that. Therefore, it means it could be y is equals to maybe positive 2x squared. But now, maybe for this one with a negative number, it means we are having a sad shape over there. So I just brought this stock switch so that I can easily explain to say, today I gave this one a stock switch. Actually, I brought it for my nigga over there. That's why he's happy. But this one, Ramutima. So true as Ramutima means Ramukia. Ramukia means we do not give this one. That's why he said. But this one you can see he's got his tongue out over there. Ladies and gentlemen, just cover the look. Cover the look. Can you guys see that I brought this one today as stock switch, and he's that much happy. He's looking at the, let's see, on Travela no. Hey guys, these two, they are going to fight. Let me remove them quickly before they fight over there. We don't want any fights in our lesson. Okay, so let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, can you see now the influence of A on that parabola? It is having a sad or a smiling shape. But now, this formula, it evolves to something similar to that. Okay, so now, why do we keep on having this C, guys? What is special about that C? Nothing special. It's only that the C value influences the vertical shift. The vertical shift. What do we mean by the vertical shift? So we're simply saying, if you've got a Cartesian plane over there, and let's say, for example, you've got a Z shape over there. Can you see this function, which we can call a function of Mafranco there? So this function of Bramafranco can be having an equation of, obviously it has to be a negative A. Let's say, for example, 2x squared. Can you see? But now it's passing through the origin over there. So that is why it is just like that. The moment this function, maybe it moves, let's say by 1, 2, it shifts by 2 units upwards. Therefore, it is having, let's say, that shape. Can you see? That means this one, which could be G, let's maybe say, let's say it's a Mafranco prime. So it's more like we shifted this original one to there. So there it shifted by 1 to 2 units. So that means it is going to be obviously negative because it's a set shape. Then upwards 1, 2. That's why you say plus 2. So that means it moved upwards by 2 units. So that is why I want you guys to understand the formation of these functions. So now, can you see this function can either shift to the left still, or otherwise shifts to the right. That is why this stock sweets is very nice, ladies and gentlemen. It is very, very nice. I think, okay, let's see. What I wanted to explain is that the sideways shift, it could be that middle term. You remember, we've got ax squared plus bx plus c for a parabola. So it could be that we do know very well that the c value influences the vertical shift, meaning it can shift 1, 2, 3 upwards, 1, 2, 3 whatever downwards. So we know that this one, it has got a greater influence, especially the a value there, greater influence on the shape being a smiling or a negative shape. So can you see this one, ladies and gentlemen? That's what I mean by the sideways movement. And this one, the C value, the up and down movement. I hope you guys understand that. Let's see, maybe let me just say case number 1, which is that one. So you can have maybe something similar to that, making a U-turn at the origin. Let's maybe try to have a look at that stage over there. So that one, obviously, it's a Cartesian plane, and then the graph, maybe it may shift by so many units upwards, let's say by 3 units up there. But now, when we have that middle term, you might find that your function now, it has shifted either to this side, or otherwise it could have shifted towards this side. It will depend on the a value, if it's a smiling or a sad shape. So you will obviously learn some more as we go deeper with our lessons. But for today's lesson, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to now try and have a look at the formation of a hyperbola. So a hyperbola also, guys, it came from somewhere. So let's see. So what are we having there? A hyperbola. But before I go deep, ladies and gentlemen, are we together there? Nolesia Shravan Lungster the Lungster. Ke itumetse mahlako, Grace Lerato Le Molefe, Kmo the greatest, Shreyas. Are we doing good at that side?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. Let's see. Under hyperbola, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to also have a look at where exactly hyperbola came from. But most importantly, remember, let's have a look at it at a baby stage. We'll go to a teenager, and then from there, lastly, we'll have a look at it at an adult stage. So it makes it better for me to explain using those phases. So this is the general formula of a hyperbola. So it's y is equals to a over x. This is exactly where this function started from, ladies and gentlemen. It started as that. And then from there, it evolved and evolved and evolved until it got to where it is in your grade. You could be in grade 11. It won't look like that one over there. In grade 12 also, it is a complete different story. So you need to be aware of something very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So remember, we draw functions on a Cartesian plane. What is a Cartesian plane? A Cartesian plane is this thing called Sifapa Noki Wena Moloki Wena Moloki wa Haria Zamayaki Mavili Wena Haria. Hallelujah. A second. Heaven. Fire. Kichiche mina toko sona lo mdwena. Kitumezi. Awila take a first party nyana muwe. I know Shriyas has got bass. Shriyas, do you know the song? No, sir.
No, sir.
No.
I knew it. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm simply saying is that this is what we call a Cartesian plane. A Cartesian plane has got the first, third, whatever quadrants. So now, on our hyperbola, K-mo, if the A value it is positive, then our hyperbola will be drawn in the first and the third quadrant. So if our A value it is negative, we are going to have our functions or sketch in the second and the fourth quadrant. So you just need to be careful of that, ladies and gentlemen. The moment, for example, you have, let's say y is equals to positive 2 over x, just make sure that regardless of how you draw your function, just make sure that because the A value it is positive, you are going to have your hyperbola in the first and the third quadrant. So let's say if it was negative 4 over there, it means you're going to have in the second and the fourth quadrant. I hope I'm correct with that. Let's see. So this is the shape of a hyperbola, ladies and gentlemen. You just do something similar to that. You just do something similar to that. So you need to be very careful of something, ladies and gentlemen. Our teacher used to say, I'm not sure if you guys were with me in the beginning of the year. Limolefe, do you still remember me saying a parabola is rappelling with the axis or the asymptotes or whatever? Were you there during those times? I know Lerato was there. I think Grace was also there. Also, Shreyas was there. Shravan, I doubt you were there during that time. But let me explain to Shravan, and I think also to Lungsta and Nolesia. Young K, it's unfortunate I had to mute you, my friend. I noticed your mic was unmuted. I tried to say unmute it. No, mute it. I'll just explain to you towards the end of the lesson regarding the group rules. Okay, so when we have a parabola, a hyperbola, ladies and gentlemen, obviously I said if your A value is positive, you draw your hyperbola in the first and the third quadrant. And if it is negative, you draw it there and there. Remember, guys, in today's lesson, we're just doing an introduction. No need to capture all of this at the same time. No need to stress that much in case if you missed something. Just make sure that when I give you guys an opportunity to ask any questions, you will raise that question. So remember, guys, in my lesson, there's no such thing called unnecessary question or whatever. Whatever that you can think of, just make sure that you ask. You must ask so that we clarify. And what I've noticed is that with you guys asking, it helps me to realize where you might be having some challenges, and it helps me to explain even further. So now I'm just doing the talking based on my previous lessons because I know what you guys asked. So I'm just making sure to cover those that you might be asking yourself. So let's see. I think I've said all that I wanted you guys to be aware of regarding a hyperbola at a baby stage. But remember, there's something called what is it? I think it's asymptotes. I might have got the spelling asymptotes. We used to call it asymptote during our time. So don't get surprised. One day I say, what is our asymptote? So when I say, what is our asymptote, and you open your eyes, it means you missed this lesson. So ladies and gentlemen, what is the asymptote? The asymptote, it's actually, it's more like special axis for a hyperbola. Not sure if you guys are getting me. So it's the broken lines. But in this case, for a function at a baby stage, the asymptotes the asymptotes are actually inside this solid line. So inside that solid line, you have broken lines. What do we call those broken lines? We call them the asymptotes. These are what we call the asymptote. It is going to make a perfect sense as we go deeper in different stages. That's when it is going to make a perfect sense. So it's more like a hyperbola. It actually has its unique or special vertical asymptote and a horizontal asymptote. You always have this. You always have this. You always have this. For the last time, you always have this when you have a hyperbola, a function of a hyperbola. Then, if your A value, it is positive. Remember, the A value could be any number, obviously from 1 up until whatever. So, not necessarily from 1, also half could be your A value. So, it is just any number but not 0. Because I think if you have 0 over something, I think it's error. Yeah. All right. So let's see. So if your A value is a positive number, then your function, it is going to run like that. So now, something that you need to be aware of is that it never, Grace, can you hear me? Never. I wish I could remember a song that has the words never. Is there such a song? Otherwise, we might as well just create our own Amapian. What do you think, Kmo? Don't you think we can just start our own song where we talk about never? Shall never lose. Oh, yeah, Kmo, do you know this one? Shall never lose his power. Shall never lose. Or am I singing it incorrectly? Grace, do you know the song? Shall never lose it, shall never. Shravan, I would be disappointed if you say you don't know this song, Shravan. Do you know it? Shall never lose his power.
I never heard it.
You know the song, eh? Hey, did I say H there? Was that H? Lerato, uyayazi le ngoma le. Shall never lose his power, shall shall never lose it, shall never. Yeah. You guys. Or the one that you know is that one which say, just going around, just gonna go, ne. Hey, sai shabata, uru, eh. Guys, a very important song. Never, Grace, never ever draw a hyperbola where you have your hyperbola touching or crossing this the asymptotes. Never. If you do that, I'm telling you, you're going to get 0 for whatever that you'll be sketching. Just make sure of that. So the reason why in this case at the baby stage they say your hyperbola must never touch the axis, it's because inside the vertical axis and the horizontal axis you have the asymptotes, ladies and gentlemen. So just be careful and just make sure of that. So now let's have a look at this at an adult at a teenage stage. I think I might as well just remove that information. So remember, guys, the notes that I use to prepare for these lessons, they are there in the library. Just make sure that you visit the library to access previous questions. So it's all the question papers for all the subjects. Life sciences, English, first additional language, English, what is it? A far language and home language, and then a Greek, life sciences, geography, all you name from grade 10 to 11. Okay, so let's see. The formula at a teenage. Remember, we said the A value can either be a positive or a negative value. But now, there we have X. Let's say plus a P. The reason why I had a pause over there, it's because I wanted to make it easy to explain. Instead of using P, let me use H. I'll let you know why I used H. Okay. Mr. Ragunanen, the reason why we are having a plus H over there, it's because we know that this hyperbola can move sideways. So that means every function, be it a straight line, a parabola, a hyperbola, I think also an exponential, those functions, they can move. In which way? They can move sideways and again up and down. So this H, I chose letter H to remind us of the horizontal movement. So the horizontal movement is this one of the sideways. So imagine us having to move this thing together with the asymptotes towards the right. Let's say we shift it by so many. Let's say there is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Someone tell me by how many units to move it maybe to the right so that I redraw it. Let me choose. Kitu mates. Kitu. Matlaku.
Yes.
Utemfo.
Yes.
Khonse go ya yang ka fo.
Yes, up.
Be ba reng bo kwaito. Because boli bele school sa me wena no so attend lesson.
No. Forgetting.
Okay, so ki shiftele to the right or to the left?
To the left.
Okay, to the left.
I mean to
by
the
how
right,
many?
yeah.
To the right. By how many units?
2 units.
2 units. Okay. I'm going to shift it and redraw it. So can you see? That means there is 1, there is 2. So she said by 2 units, which means, ladies and gentlemen, what shifts to the right, it's not really a, we actually don't shift this, but we shift the vertical asymptote to the right. So that means it is going to, can you see, it is now within that vertical x. So it is going to shift by 1, 2. So that means you draw it now there. Remember that song, shall never. So can you see that horizontal asymptote? It is still shifting, but it you can't see, John Cena, you can't see me, ADK. I'm sure you guys, you also don't know this song, but it's fine. So that means if you have your hyperbola shifting sideways, it's only the vertical asymptote that you can see shifting to the right by 2 units. So that means also this one, it is going to shift. Why is it shifting? It's because we said shall never lose it, shall never lose it. Oh yes, the blood of Jesus. Oh yes, the blood of Jesus. Oh yes, shall never lose it, shall never. Now I'm going to sing it with Shreya's voice. Shall never use it, shall never lose his power. I know Shreyas, he says he doesn't know the songs because he think I'm going to say sing them. He knows them very well. His friend Shravan is also saying the same. They know these songs very well. I'm telling you, when I do private lessons with these guys, I'm now revealing secrets. They'll be singing that song of Chabalala one side, but in these classes they are shy. Okay, so let's see. Can you guys see that now? Because this thing, it has shifted by so what is it? 2 units to the right. Can you see that had to shift, and also that had to shift sideways? Why did we not have this one remaining there? It is because the song does not allow. The song says never. Never, 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 never. Don, 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 don. My piano there. So it must never touch your asymptote. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. So now, possibly, I'm going to try and guess the possible formula or equation or function for that. So this is how you can guess it. You will say y is equals to, let's say it is possibly a positive number. Let's maybe say positive 2. Then you say x. If it shifts to the right, inside you put a minus a value there. Why am I putting negative 2? Is because she said I must move it by 2 units. But in terms of the sign, you don't say because it has moved to the right, then it's positive. No, you put it as a negative inside there. Because if you want to know by how many units did it shift to the right, you take this thing as it is, as x minus 2, you equate it to 0, then you solve for x is equals to 2. So can you see, if it shifted by 2 units to the right, therefore, when you put it there, you put it as a negative value. So I just had to guess the function of that. But remember, guys, there will be a time where we do a lesson where we'll be solving for some exam question paper. So if the question says sketch, I will also be showing you guys on how to sketch it, and also look for a question where we answer questions based on a sketch graph. Okay, so now let's say for example we try to draw another one which is shifted by whatever units to the left. I'm not sure if there's someone who wants to give me a value by what shifting it to the whatever. Who's there on the line? Can someone mention their name there, guys? Choose a mask. choose masketed. No leshiya. Kunjani lapho ntombo. No leshiya. Nole. Hey, this one is watching Generations. This one. Shia. Hey. Hey, Lerat. Molefe. Karole village Generations. Oh. Kitumit. Arabatzen boy. Arabatzen. Utemfu.
Yes.
Okay. You tell me, if we now want to have a hyperbola in the second and the fourth quadrant, what will the A value be? Will it be positive or negative?
It will be negative.
100%. So that means we're going to have y is equal, let's say maybe -3 over, obviously we know the axis at the bottom for a hyperbola. So if we wanted to shift to the left, what sign are we going to be having there?
Positive.
Okay, by how many units?
4.
Okay, 4 units. Do you still remember that song?
No.
No. Why hopola? Ring kweshela.
Make it do it.
Okay, never. So, can you see the never? Wamona never mwalini.
Yeah.
Okay, where is our other never?
No, I don't know.
Okay, remember, we have 2 nevers, the vertical never and the horizontal never. So, the horizontal never is within. Yes, you get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. Okay, so now, let's see. You said it shifts by 4 units to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So can you guys see if it shifts by that whatever units, that's where you do your never. So now, because she said we are going to have a negative A value there, it means you are going to have shall never lose his. Oh yes, the blood of Jesus. Oh yes, the blood of. Oh yes, shall never lose. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you never touch that asymptote and also that asymptote. Remember, guys, shall never lose it. Shall never lose. Lerato, can you feel it? Can you feel this song? Le ngoma le uyayizwa le ngoma le ukuthi mnandi kanjani noma cha? Ayushayela indong le ngoma le. Uyayizwa ithi iyasondela, but it never touches. It never touch. I'm not sure. Let me Shravan Lungster, the greatest, Molefe. Let me see. Shrias. Who else is there? Are you guys happy there? Am I not losing you guys?
I'm understanding it so far.
Another one to confirm.
Yes, still yes.
I'm understanding.
I'm still yes.
100%. So now let's try to have a look at that formula at an adult stage. So this is all that you needed to know regarding a teenage stage. So it's more like at the teenage stage, we looked at that graph when it shifts sideways or horizontally. So now I'll need someone to guess what would an adult stage look like. Let me do something similar to this. So we have y being equals to, remember a can either be a positive or a negative. Then there, let's say maybe we have plus h, then let's say plus v over there. Anyone to guess what could that v possibly mean?
Say it's a vertical shift.
Did you guys hear that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
A vertical shift. So that means this refers to the horizontal shift and this refers to the vertical shift. Let's see. Shreyas, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
We are going to climb a mountain now, Shreyas. Did you eat enough, pap? Because you need energy now. Hey, why is it like Shreyas ran away now? Shreyas, it's
Yes,
just
sir.
a small mountain.
Yes, sir.
100. So you tell me, Shreyas, let's see. If I want my function to be in the first and the third quadrant, what will the a be? The a value be?
Positive 5.
100%. So okay, you choose positive 5, nay. So remember, that number could be any number. In our case, we just choose any number, but examiner might give you a specific number. So now, you tell me, Shreyas, if I want this to shift to the left, am I going to have a positive or a negative value over there? Let's say, okay, you tell me, Shreyas, I want it to shift to the left.
A negative.
Someone to confirm.
I also think negative.
Shravan also thinks negative. Another one to guess.
I disagree.
Why do you always disagree in that? Why are you disagreeing?
Yes, sir, because
Order, honorable members, order. Kamo, take your seat. Lerato, you are recognized. What's your point of order?
sir, since it's shifting to the left, you must have a positive horizontal shift.
Okay, so Shreyas, let's now do it in a form of notes. So you can write it as the notes to say, let's say maybe to the left, what is it? To the left, positive, yes. Let's say to the left, positive. To the right, let's say a negative. I'm sure you guys will never forget it, isn't it? Is it not, Shravan? Is it not better like that? What do you think?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So Shreyas, let's continue. Do you now agree, Shreyas, that it's better this way? Do you agree with me there?
I agree with you, sir.
So now, by how many units would you like it to shift to the left?
By 7 units.
Hey, hey, that's far, Shreyas. But let's force it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, at least it's going to fit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that means we are going to have 7 there. So can you guys now see that this actually influence what is it? The sideway shifts. So Shreyas, when you say by 7 units to the left, it means your asymptote, it is now going to be drawn there. Does it now make sense, Shreyas? Do you have some light yana there?
Yes, sir.
So now, let's shift it vertically. You remember that if there's nothing there, then the asymptote is within the x. But now, by how many units would you like it to shift? And again, do you want it to shift up or down?
Down, sir.
Okay, by how many units?
4 units, sir.
4 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You tell me, Shreyas, this one you'll have to guess it. Is it going to be a positive or a negative there?
A negative, sir.
100%. It is going to be negative. So it's more like for a what is it, for a horizontal shift. That's where you say to the right, no, to the left it's positive there, but to the what is it, right, it's negative there. But for the vertical shift, you take it as it is. So that means your asymptote now, it is going to be there at -4 and then that one at +7. But now, can you see, Shreyas, I no longer have space on that side. But remember, guys, remember that song, shall never lose. It's unfortunate I won't draw it nice. Can you see? It was just going to continue, but erapala. Le asymptote. Remember, this asymptote, what is it? We call it x. It's equals to 7. Why? Because this is the vertical asymptote and it touches x at 7. That's why we say it is the one for x is equals to. What is it? No, it's going to be -7. Can you guys see? It touches it at -7. And this one, it cuts the y. So this one, it means is the one for y, it is equals to what? -4. So these are the equations of the asymptotes. So remember, no, but wait. Can someone try to correct me there? Can someone try to correct me there?
Where, sir?
Who's saying where?
Lerato.
Lerato is saying where. Anyone else? Lungster. Hey, Lungster. I think you once told me your name. What did you say Lungster stand for? Lungile. Was it Lungisa? Lungster. Hey,
Sila, sir.
Lungisile.
Yes, sir.
Lungisile as a Lungis. Lungisa lapho, lungisa. Khona into emoshakele la, lungisa. Lungisa indaba yakho nje, sikhona manje. Khona, hey, lungisa indaba yakho nje, sikhona manje. Lungisa. Are you not seeing a mistake there? Lungi.
No, I don't say.
Hey. Okay. Shreyas, I will help you to notice the mistake. What A value are we having there, Shreyas?
A positive 5.
So if we have a positive A value, what does it mean?
So I'm not sure.
Another one to guess?
I think the graph must lie on the first and on the third quadrant.
Yes. So Shreyas, also remember to note it down. Lungster, remember to also note it down. So can you see, guys, sometimes when I make these mistakes, it helps because Shreyas, it's not that you don't know, you forgot, but now because we're about to correct it, I'm sure you will always remember that when we have a positive A value, then it means never, 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 never. Can you see, guys? Then it means you draw it there and there. It just gets closer to your asymptotes. It can cross the x and the y axis, but never cross the asymptotes. Are you guys happy there with that explanation? Does it make sense now?
So it makes sense now.
Makes perfect sense, isn't it?
Yes, sir. So can I ask,
Mm-hmm.
so why do we put a V at the adult stage for
The V. Okay. So maybe let me remove all of this. So it's more like the adult stage, Shreyas. You'll only be looking at that next year when you're in grade 11. I think yours in grade 10, it ends either there or there. But what I wanted to explain is that this is where it started. Then now, when we have H there, then it means it moves horizontally, sideways, Shreyas. But when we have V there, that's when it moves up and down. You remember, let's say maybe we've got that. So if it's this at a baby stage, you have those asymptotes within within the x and the y axis. For those of you guys in metric, just take it this way. It's more like your h is 0 and your v is 0. So that's why you have that as 0 passing through 0 the origin, and that passing through 0 the origin. So now, if your A value is positive, Shreyas, you're going to have your whatever there and there. Remember, that is actually within that. But Shreyas, if we now move this thing to the right, can you see? Let's say maybe we had y, it is equals to, let's say, positive 2 over x. Now, if we move it to the right, you remember we said there it is negative, and then we can say 3. Then it is going to move 1, 2, 3. So can you see? It is that vertical asymptote that moves by 3 units to the right. Can you see? So if it shifts by 3 units to the right, therefore, you remember we said this thing, it always wants to run closer to the asymptote. For that one, it is that asymptote. For this one, it is that asymptote. But remember to draw it in both, on both sides, and also you are having that one over there. So can you see, Shreyas, this one, it shifted only horizontally. That's why we had h over there. So now this function, it can also move vertically upwards. That's where that v comes in. So maybe if we have, let's say, plus 2 there, so that means it is going to shift by 1, 2 units upward, which means you now have that, which is that one. So you now have another asymptote at 2. So you do that again at 2. You do that. So it's more like when you draw this function, you first draw the asymptotes. After the asymptotes, that's when you can now have this thing rappelling with the asymptotes. Shreyas, are you having some lighting and there?
Yes, I understand now.
You are now answered, ne?
Yes, sir.
And if K the K mo ujabulile lapho.
Yeah, ngijabulile sir.
100%. Shravan, you tell me, do you want me to sketch nyana one graph there to see how do we sketch this thing?
Understand, sir.
You got all the info, ne? Let me see who's
Yes, sir.
let me see. Okay. Molefe, are you still there? Grace, today you don't want to speak to me, ne? Okay. Let me see. Grace, Molefe, how about mpledisa kajeko? Grace, I want to ask you a question. Can you just greet me? Molefe. Molefe, are you eating chicken today?
Sir?
Ujana mama motlana,
No.
kanu sampledish.
You.
Chicken legi ni lapho. So, wari umutokozo kamo?
Yeah, I'm fine. Superb.
Superb. Hey, English guys. Grace, hawukhulume lapho. Hawukhulume lapho. Grace.
I think
Grace.
Sir,
Do you want me to sketch yana there, or are you happy?
I'm happy, sir.
Okay. Let me see. Kitumezi, do you want me to sketch one graph, or are you happy there?
No, I'm fine.
She's fine. Who did I? Shreyas, we just spoke. Lerato, do you want me to sketch one function for hyperbola, or are we doing good there in KZN?
No, sir, I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yes, 100%.
Lungsta. Pungwayo.
I'm good, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
But I don't trust you.
You have to see, sir.
Should I ask you a question?
You can, sir.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How old is the world?
Ah.
Okay, guys. Thanks very much for joining. I hope you did enjoy as much as I did. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be wrapping up this chapter of functions. I'm pretty much sure that we'll also be able to complete a exponential function. Then as soon as we're done, Monday, first thing, ladies and gentlemen, we start with our exam type of questions. So I need to be preparing you guys for your preparatory exams that you'll be writing sometime in what is it in I think it's June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I think it's in September. So that's what we'll be focusing on. We've got all the question papers that we might need for supplementary. They are there together with the memos in the group. So just make sure not to miss my upcoming lessons, guys. Good people, have a very good night. Cheers. Bye, 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 bye.
Thank you.
Good night, Sam.
Thank you and have a super scalafonic, promiscuous, Maradonian, spontaneous, exclusive, fallacious daisy.
What? Hallelujah. Idea boy, abo. Lerato, wena signature e reng?
Amen.
Matlhako, wena sereto seno se reng? O se kwele sereto sa K-mo re se reng? Seno se reng? Hey,
I don't
so,
know mine.
sereto seno se reng? Se re Lerato. No, not Lerato. Le Molefe. Wena sereto seno se re o ka re tlo tšhaiša ka direto. O ya pele.
I can see it.
Ya. Lerato, KZN, how shy lapho? Maqemwa, I had away. Hey, say, hey. Sereto sela yano, ke se se unique. Lungster ran away. Okay, cheers, guys. And